Alright, so I just recently learned that there is a glitch in the Goonies 2 on the NES that's going to allow you to skip a large portion of the game. So I practiced a little with it last night, and I'm going to give it a shot and see if I can't beat the game significantly faster than I normally do. So we're going to do kind of a quick run and skip a lot of the unnecessary items just to kind of see the range of how quickly I can beat the game now that I know a little secret. So it might not be a perfect run because I'm still kind of playing around with it. But let's see how it goes. You play through the beginning of the game pretty much the same way. You go straight for the first Goonie. It's of course in this room here. We're going to skip the firebomb or the Molotovs. We don't really need them. They're useful, but gotta go fast. And this time we actually gotta go fast. So. I've seen people be able to beat the game in about 17 minutes or so with this glitch. I'd be happy to do it around 20 minutes. So we definitely need the bombs. Oops. Well, I'm doing awesome. Okay. Hammer, hit, wall, go, use key. Obviously, I'm not focused, so, I'll never be an expert speedrunner, apparently, but that's okay. I just really enjoyed this game, and I kind of wanted to play around with this little glitch that I found out. So we're going to now go all the way over to basically the vine area, as we normally do. Obviously, I'm skipping stuff like the slingshot that you just don't need. One good thing about not picking up the Molotov cocktails is you have a better chance of getting a key as a drop item, because you're not going to get Molotovs. You are still going to occasionally get bombs, but the bomb is really useful. It pretty much cuts your game in half. Alright, so this is where it kind of deviates a bit. We're going to immediately go up here. And we're actually going to go into this room here. And we're actually going to get the transceiver, which you just don't need, right? Whoops, went the wrong way. So we're just going to go over here to the right. Now, normally at this point in the game, you'd either go save the second Goonie, or you'd go to the ice area to pick up the boomerang and the glasses, which the glasses normally are a required item to beat the game. But we're going to play with a new little glitch I found, and we're actually going to completely skip the glasses. Now, of course, people who actually care about this game are like, but how do you get the diving suit? And the fourth Goonie? Well, I'm going to show you. But we have to get to that point in the game, so. What's cool about doing it this way is I don't ever have to worry about losing my boomerang. Because, one, I never use the boomerang, but I like to have all the items. So I can go a little faster through this and just literally ignore... Whoops! Don't do that. Literally ignore the iron masks. Again, that death was totally intentional, and I'm not just an idiot. I swear. Alright. I'm just gonna basically cross the bridge, ignore pretty much all the enemies. Again, they can't take anything from me if I don't have anything for them to take. Wow, that was deep. But anywho, we're gonna continue on and go through this area. which of course is going to lead to the green one. He's so tough to dodge. Oh, bullet. Go up here. It's been so long since I went to the left, I barely even remember that area. Alright, now we're in the elusive green area. And I learned some kind of optimization tricks in here. One, don't get killed by that snaky. That's important. Two, now I can get Molotov cocktails in this room. I don't really need them. And it is kind of out of the way, but I'm just going to pick them up anyway. Just so that when I'm in the one of the later areas with those little Simon Belmont looking dudes, the Molotov kills them in one hit. So, I mean, most people just kind of walk through them, but, you know, I like blowing things up. Alright, so we're going to skip the key door for now. And your butt's kicked by the scorpions. That's okay. Here, hope that geyser doesn't get us, and it definitely did. Now we're near death, so I'm not going to risk that guy. Alright, so here's the big trick. Is you go in this room, and you go down to your tools, and normally you would use the transceiver, and it's absolutely useless. So if you have a turbo controller, if you put buttons A and B on turbo, you can trick the game into thinking you have the glasses. There's a frame-perfect solution to actually how to do that, but the easy way is basically just put those two buttons on turbo once you have the transceiver. Because when it goes over to the second screen with the transceiver, there's a frame or two where where the cursor is on the glasses, even though you don't have the glasses yet. So you would use that, go over there, hit A immediately. I don't know how frame perfect it is, but with the with turbo, you don't have to worry about that. No, wait, it's a regular hit. I'm distracted because this trick's so neat. Because you'll notice I'm, able to complete this area without, having to go all the way over to the ice area to pick up important items. Hence the glasses, because the few spots where you need it in the game, which are in this area, you can just kind of cheese it, go here, and again, you just put those on turbo, and it's super easy to be able to open up those safes and whatnot with the glasses. So I'm already done with the green area. Now, the one thing I have to remember is there's a Goonie that I normally get before here. So I just have to make sure I pick her up. Or is it her or him? I don't remember. You know what's funny? This whole time, I should have had the hyper shoes on. Wow. Okay. But, again, I'm just practicing, so I pretty much wasted like an extra 5 minutes of my little run because I didn't put the hyper shoes on. But, gotta go slow, apparently. Just gonna basically take hits. I should probably pick up the next Konami Man because I'm getting pretty weak. I also found a little glitch where there's a Konami Man that I think in a prototype of the game he might have been there, but they decided to change his location to a little further in the lava area. But the door is still there. It's just when you leave the door, it takes you to the other location, and it actually ends up being a warp zone. So that's another little secret that I found. It probably only saves you a few seconds, but I think it's definitely worth it. Now, I'm almost dead. That waterfall's probably going to kill me, to be honest with you. So we're just going to go in here, talk to Konami Man, get our life back. Always take a hit coming out of that room, just the way the waterfalls cycle. So, now I can go all the way over here, and we're actually going to go to the ice world down here. Gotta go fast. Alright, jump down here. Now, I don't have the helmet, but I can also use the glasses trick to get the helmet early. So you can actually use it in that area. I'm awesome today. There is a secret door in there, I assure you. I just messed that up really bad. But gotta go fast, right? Now on a super speed run, I'd skip this bomb box because you don't need it, but I've already pretty much ruined this run through the game for speed, so... Well, we'll go for convenience. Oops. Thanks, Konami. Appreciate that. Alright. Alright, so we got another Goonie down. Let's see if we can do it right this time. There we go. I don't really need the extra life, but I did die earlier in a really stupid way, so... We'll just kind of erase that death that way. Right, so we're done in there. Don't need the glasses or the boomerang. Gotta go faster-ish. And I've just found that the boomerang is too slow when you just want to speed through the game. And the few enemies that you do fight, the yo-yo is perfectly reasonable to take them out. Alright, so now, I hate going off those platforms, I hate waiting for them. So this way I don't think it's faster, but I feel like it's safer. To get past all those, go down here. Because we are now done with pretty much this half of the game. We just have to pick up the Goonie that's kind of out of the way over here. We definitely want to get her before we go to the fire area, because reasons. Now, I also suggest here, turn off your hyper shoes if you are not good at ice areas, because you will slide right off if you take a hit in the wrong spot here. Whenever I'm doing a run, this is the area that I almost always lose a life, because I just get a little too cocky. So this is the one point in the game where I'm like, don't go fast. Go at the speed that you're comfortable on these platforms, otherwise you're going to have a very bad day. But it actually went pretty well that time. I took more hits than I would have liked, but we are now pretty much done with the vine area. And we don't have to go back and forth anymore because we don't have to worry about the glasses. Here. Now we're going to go into this door. It should be familiar from about 5 minutes ago. Alright, so we're back here. So we're going to use the warp zone in, I guess, the attic is what we would call it, to get to the flame area, where there's also another little secret that I found at the same time I found the glasses glitch. So back into this room. Now the reason that you get the Goonie up here first, because you could technically wait to get him here, but you wouldn't have those bombs to get the hyper shoes. So And the hyper shoes are, we'll just call it optimal. Alright, this room. Hit the roof. Use our new ladder. Go up and then down twice. And we're in the super fun lava zone. Where you're going to take tons of hits on that first screen. Now here's where the interesting thing is if you go here, there's a secret door. I never knew that was there. It's in kind of a weird spot. But look, it warps you all the way over here to the lava area. So you basically skip like a screen. So this is the part where this speed run becomes a little luck-based. So I now have 0 keys because I missed one of the key rings because it's way out of my way. So I just have to find a key. So basically I have to kill some monsters. Now the dragons really are not optimal. They hit you really hard and are really not worth it. So it is what it is. There's a decent spot in the green area where enemies spawn. I actually did get the Molotovs, so. Where you can harvest for that last key. The Skeller and the Armor Skellers die in one hit from bombs, so I'm also very low on those, but that's okay. There's like one spot up here I don't mind using a bomb. No good, Molotovs. Well, I guess we're not fighting him. So this screen, where we get the last Goonie, has a decent amount of enemies to fight. And is probably the best place to harvest for that last key. These spiders show up pretty often. Ah, there we go, we got our key. Okay, so that was not super painful, but could have been better. Now we just go into this room. Use our ladder. Welcome here. This is a warp zone. Sure is. And what's good about getting the key there, as long as I don't run out of lives like a dummy, I'll have an extra key to actually save Annie at the end. So you just need one key drop for the entire game, and you're good. Alright. Alright, so we now have all the Goonies and everything we need to beat the game. Now we skipped multiple items, like we skipped the bulletproof vest, the helmet, all the really fun accessories that would make the game a lot easier. But to be honest with you, the game's pretty easy as it is. So now we have to backtrack again. Stupid spider. And pretty much get back to the very beginning of the game. Just fine. I don't need any drops from any enemies. Bombs, I guess, would be nice. I can get through these guys, but, you know, you can just kind of push them off the edge like that. But they do hit you pretty hard since you don't have the bulletproof vest here. So we just kind of want to get through this area as quick as we can. That guy usually just kind of runs away. This is one of the few spots that I like having the Molotov just to get that guy out of my way. Because we're going into the lava area. And this area, you take a lot of damage. Especially if you're super dumb and don't know how to fight bats by this point in the game. You know. As you can see, I'm just horribly dying. This is easily the hardest area in the game, just due to those flames being random. And the dragons just nailing you for way too much damage. I might still be okay. Because there is a Konami man right here. As long as that bat doesn't get me, I'm fine. With the hyper shoes, you're able to make that jump fast enough. Now don't hit the door here because it'll warp you all the way back. So we just want to run through this room as fast as we can. Again, it's one of the few rooms where the high jump boost would have been a little bit useful, but not enough to go out of your way to pick them up. So, the difficult part of the game is over, and the rest of it, there's really no tough enemies to fight. There's kind of a bit of poor design in the last part of the game. It felt like it was really rushed. If it were me in the final area, I would have put some of those tougher enemies that you've been fighting in the last few areas up in the attic and stuff. But you end up just fighting the regular enemies that you've been fighting the whole game while you're up here in the attic area. Like, this is probably the only screen that has tough enemies, and just due to the design, you see that really none of them cross your path other than the one kind of guarding the last door over here. And even he just kind of backs off, so. I felt like that should have been the final room in the game versus going through these areas. Like, these should have led up to that, and Annie should have been in the attic. But the game wasn't designed that way, and that's fine. It's still a great game, it just... these last few areas leave a little to be desired. As you can see, I'm just taking hits from everything, and, you know, you barely take any damage. I don't have the bulletproof vest, so I'm not taking half damage, but, you know, with all the energy meters that you've picked up from saving the Goonies, you're virtually invincible. Because this is the last room in the game. Your final challenge here, this room should have led to that attic area, but no, this actually leads you to the final spot in the game. And here we are, we've got our 2 keys, and that's Goonies 2 again. I don't need to sit through the ending, but pretty pleased with it, and I'm happy to show off that little glitch.